What's up, everybody? It's Thursday night. It's the Late Night Agenda. I'm your host, Craig, and you are all very welcome along to tonight's show. As you can see from our image, there are 16 days to go in our Champions League countdown. 16 days until the Reds take on Spurs at the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium in Madrid for what we hope is Big Ears number 6. I'm buzzing. I'm honestly absolutely buzzing. I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you had a good day. I hope you're ready for lots of transfer talk, lots of talk about Madrid. When I mean Madrid, I mean obviously the Champions League final, not Real Madrid. Who gives a fuck about Real Madrid? Right, lots of people in the chat already. I can't say all the hellos, but the usual suspects are in. Kyle and Far Isle and Brian Morrissey and Lewis and Cape Town Muslim and everybody else. October's in as well. How are you? Apologies for the later start to the stream tonight, but as I mentioned last night, we were out today. Myself, my family, October and Connor went to Tato Park, which is, for those of you that aren't from Ireland or I don't know what Tato Park is, it's a theme park here in Ireland basically, or the nearest thing we have to a theme park. And it is of course based around a potato because hey, it's Ireland and that's what we do best. How's everybody feeling? I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you're all enjoying the nice weather. I'm going to get straight into the comments tonight, ladies and gents, because as always, this is your show. You let me know what you want to talk about. I'm sure you guys have some transfer gossip as well you want to give to me. I'd love to hear it, so please do keep them coming. Craig, my life is better for knowing that Tato Park is a thing. Thank you from Charlestown, South Carolina, USA. My absolute pleasure, CJ992X. Yeah, it's great, isn't it? I'm not joking. I love it as well. I love the fact that Ireland's only real theme park is based around a company that makes crisps. It's fucking brilliant. It's the most Irish thing ever and I love it. I've massive sunburn from Tato Park, said October. Who would have thought? October, all the way from Memphis, comes over to little old Ireland and gets sunburnt. Memphis, it's usually 30, 40 degrees or something. Comes over here to Ireland, little old Ireland, and gets sunburned. It's mad, isn't it? Big man Steve said Julian Brandt, ? Steve, good place to start, buddy. Thank you for that one. Julian Brandt has been linked to Spurs. He's been linked to Liverpool. But the latest thing that I've been reading is that he's unsure if he wants to leave Germany. He likes life in Germany. He likes the German league. And the team that seems to be pushing hard from in Germany is Borussia Dortmund. And of course, Borussia Dortmund, like everybody else, knows that Julian Brandt has a £21 million release clause. So for them, that seems like a very good piece of business. As of course it would be for any club that gets Julian Brandt for that fee. So I don't know, maybe we're going to see a three-way tug of war here between Liverpool, Spurs and Borussia Dortmund for Julian Brandt. We know he's turned us down once before. Is he going to do it for a second time? Or do we actually have no interest in him? I don't know. What do you guys think? Again, it's your show. Let me know in the chat. Stephen Taggart's in as well, mate. How are you? Feels like a while since we've spoken. Willow said, cracking picture of October and Connor today. Yeah, it was good fun. As I said, it was good fun going to Tato Park. Craig loving the new Twitter pic. Thank you, Lewis. It's probably going to change again soon because I don't think it's great because my image covers up too much of the Anfield Agenda logo, but it'll probably change a little bit. But I do appreciate the kind words, mate. Thank you. Do you remember, guys, last night on the stream we spoke about Claude? And Claude put up a video, Claude from AFTV, put up a video speaking about trolling and mental health and how he's suffering a little bit and he's seen other people bullied on social media. I tried to reach out to Claude there earlier today. Well, I say earlier, to be honest, it wasn't too long ago. It was maybe an hour ago. I can't DM him on Twitter because we don't follow each other, so I did tag him in a post and let him know that, look, mate, you don't know me. If you need to chat, you want to come on and have a chat, I'm happy to do it. And if anybody again is in his chat or is subscribed to his social media accounts, let him know. He might not know me, but I'm always here to talk, always. Brandt goes to Dortmund, I think, said James. Loving your top, Craig. I want one. Thank you very much. This is the first time outside of the trip to Liverpool I've actually worn it. I love it. I love it myself, I have to say. We're going to have another competition coming up around the Champions League as well, by the way, for those of you that, you know, we do run a lot of competition, so we will have another one coming up. I don't want to give away the details just yet, but keep an eye on the channel. Have you heard about the Turkish keeper that we're interested in, said James. I haven't, James, no, mate. Please do fill me in, though. I'd love to know. As I described myself many times on here before, I'm a transfer whore. I absolutely love transfer talk. More gossip, more rumours, bring it on. I absolutely love it. Griezmann is coming. Yeah, no, he really isn't pressed, mate. He's gone to Barcelona, £103 million or whatever his release clause is. Will Werner choose Liverpool or Bayern, said Liverpool Football Club. Again, mate, I can't give you the answer to that. We all would love Timo Werner. We have some news, as you've seen in the thumbnail of tonight's stream. There's a few little bits and pieces we have to talk about. I don't know about Timo Werner. I'm refusing to let myself. I suppose I bought in too much to the whole thing around Pulisic. You guys know for a long time before he signed for Chelsea, I wanted Christian Pulisic at Liverpool. Werner is close to the next best player, and I don't know, I just don't want to let myself believe you. You're reading so many conflicting reports around this transfer window. What I can tell you is, for without any doubt, there is money for Jurgen Klopp there. So any of this nonsense around 20 million, 10 million, 15 million, there is money there for Jurgen Klopp to spend in this window. And if you were to go by the articles that have been put out today, the club are hoping to raise in and around about 100 million in sales as well. Moving on the likes of, say, Simon Mignolet, Nathaniel Klein. We know Sturridge and Moreno, they'll go for free, of course, because their contracts are up. Maybe Lallana, a couple of other fringe players the club are talking about. Ryan Kent, maybe another one that might move on. Griezmann to join Barca after they paid his release clause, said the real Ginger Steve. How are you, Brad Pitt, said Original Gunner. I'm not too bad, mate. I'm not too bad. Please do keep calling me that. Fucking hell, please do. That'll make my week. What is everywhere that Klopp may be signing many players? I think that if it was true, it would be the biggest mistake Klopp would make in his career. We must keep going, not take a step back. Sorry, you said won't be signing many players. I think that is the case, to be fair, mate. I think 2 or 3 major signings or top level signings this summer, and maybe a couple of younger players or players to come in and fill out the squad. And let's not forget, Klopp likes to trust the players that are already at the club. Klopp wants to give the likes of Rhian Brewster, Nat Phillips, Curtis Jones, he wants to give these guys a pathway through to the first team because he believes that they're good enough. And yes, whilst it is about strengthening, and we do need to strengthen to make our squad a little bit deeper to challenge in 4 competitions next season, I don't know if we need to do anything like the type of business we did last summer, but you know I do love a transfer, as I keep saying. Am I watching the Eurovision? No, my friend, I absolutely am not, Shane. Are Irish, you are bang right. I don't know what that means, but yes, I am Irish, and occasionally I'm right, but I don't think that's what you meant by that one. I heard Pepe Reina wants Liverpool. Or I heard Pepe. Did you hear me? Pepe Reina. I'm Pepe Reina on the brain. Yibber said, I think Pepe wants Liverpool move. Yes, that is something that's been flicking around a little bit today in social media and in transfer news land. There's going to be no shortage of clubs after Pepe this summer. I mean, he's had a great career. I can't remember the amount of goals that he scored in League One this year, but again, we're going to have to wait and see on that one. But there are a couple of names, as I said, that we want to speak about tonight in tonight's stream. Werner is one of them. David Neres is another one that I want to talk about in a few minutes as well. I've got a bit of good news, actually, for anybody that's heading to Madrid or wants to head to Madrid and maybe can't get a ticket or isn't sure about things. If you're lucky enough to get a ticket, and you've bought that ticket through the club. So supporters who've bought tickets for the forthcoming Champions League final direct from the respective finalists, as in Liverpool and Spurs, buy them from the club. They'll also receive a travel pass entitling them to free transport in and around Madrid, which is actually nice. You know, it's a nice little touch. If you're there and you want to spend time there, you're going to get a free travel pass if you buy your ticket from the club. So well done for that one. Secondly, for those who can't find a way over, I know a lot of people have been looking at flights, and I know a lot of people, like even myself, just for the crack, at times I looked. Whether you're going from the UK, or whether you're going from Ireland, or whether you're going from elsewhere in Europe, this piece of news is for people from the UK, or people who will be travelling from the UK. So bear with me, because this might be interesting to you. So Neon, which is the new on-demand travel service by the National Express, is running executive coach services from both Liverpool and London to the Champions League final. The journeys will depart early on Friday, May the 31st, and arrive in Madrid by lunchtime the following day, and then they will leave straight after the game and do the return trip. Now, reading through the article today about this one, it did say that the coaches would be air conditioned, they would have proper toilet facilities on board and all that stuff, and there'd be many stop-offs on the way. I didn't see any prices for them. Some other travel companies doing similar things. I've seen prices of around £250 for the return trip, which if you look at what it costs for flights and stuff, do you know, I don't think it's that bad, to be fair. Now, as I said, I don't know the price on this one. If anybody wants to have a look at it, maybe go on the National Express website. Neon is the name of the new on-demand, is the phrase that they're using. Travel service from the National Express. So that might be a more cost-effective way for people to get over to Madrid. If you're doing it that way, you also don't have to book any hotel accommodation, of course, because you're coming back after the game. So it's a lot of travelling. You're probably looking at 72 hours pretty much on the go. But 250 quid maybe in and around that kind of price might be worth a look. It might be worth a look if you're lucky enough to get a ticket, or maybe you just want to be in and around. You want to be in the fan park, so you just want to be around that part of the city. Do have a look at that one, because I know people are trying to find any which way they can do to get over to Madrid for massive game in our season. Absolutely massive. Right, let me get through more and more of your comments. Beautiful ball specimen, just like Fabinho, said Harrison Lang. Thank you very much, my friend. Craig, did you see Jamie Carragher singing the Liverpool chants? Yes, I did. On the boss night, he was on stage with Jamie Webster, singing the Virgil van Dijk song, pint in hand, giving it socks. Love it. Absolutely love it from Jamie Carragher. He is one of our own, isn't he? As Jamie Webster described him in that video, he's a working class hero. He's a man that never forgets his roots, and you've got to love Jamie Carragher. You've got to fucking love him. So well done. Yeah, I loved it. It was great to see LMA, wasn't it? I love seeing things like that. And the fact that he had a few jars as well, it was good to see. And he wasn't holding back. If you haven't seen the video, have a look for it. It's all over social media. He gave it socks, God bless him. He really was giving it 100%. Apparently transport in Madrid is only €1, said Rafa the Gaffer. I don't know, mate, but this entitles you to, I think, links in and around from the airport and different services in Madrid. I don't know the ins and outs of it. The Echo are saying we're doing nothing in the market, said Joyce in the from the Echo. I don't. That's nonsense. Of course we're doing something in the market. There's no way Liverpool are not going to go in and address the few areas that we need to address. I live in Madrid, so kind of harm to book tickets. I don't know what you mean, harm or have to. Maybe I think you're trying to say. Oh, you had to. There you go. Kind of had to book tickets. Nice. There you go. You live in Madrid, mate. Easy. Enjoy it. I don't know if you have a ticket to the game. Best of luck. If you don't, I'm sure you'll enjoy the fan parks and stuff around it. Do we think Rafael Benitez will leave Newcastle, and if he does, who'll take over? I think it'll be down to whether he's backed for Mike Ashley. And Mike Ashley will be a fool not to trust Rafael Benitez and give him the money that he wants, which will be, I suppose, fairly reasonable for a club in Newcastle situation. They'd be foolish for me to let Rafael Benitez go. Right, on this, so I said I had some news about Neres, and I know a lot of people like David Neres. He's been strongly linked to Liverpool. Now, he had been in talks with Paris Saint-Germain about a transfer there, but he's having second thoughts. He's not convinced by the project, apparently. He's not convinced that he'd get enough game time with the likes of Neymar, Cavani, Mbappe at the club there. So the next thing he's looking at, Liverpool are being strongly linked now to David Neres. I've seen a piece in the Echo on this as well. I've seen a couple of other sites talking about Neres as somebody who will be a perfect fit for Liverpool. Now, he's left-footed. Whether you think that's a pro or a con, I don't know. But for me, this makes a lot of sense. I would love to see David Neres at Liverpool. The few bits I've seen of him this season, and I'm not going to lie and say I'm an expert on him by any stretch of the imagination, he looks a player that would fit in well in our system. He looks like he's got the work rate, the desire, the guile, the little bits and pieces that we need. Has anybody seen a price on this kid? Because I haven't, if I'm being honest. I haven't seen a price on him. I'd love to know what you guys think about it as well. He's one that I strongly do believe we're looking at. Now, I know a lot of people will say as well, we had scouts over in Lyon for their recent game. Some people think we're looking at Aouar. Some people think we're looking at Ndombele. Some people think we're looking at Fekir. Some people think we're looking at Memphis Depay. My answer to that is I can't give you the truth. I don't know who they were looking at. They could have been looking at more than one player. Let's wait and see. But God, it's brilliant, isn't it? I fucking love a transfer. And the transfer window is pretty much open at this point. So, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. Let's get them in. Lewis Johnson said 232 adult return. That's not too bad, Lewis, is it? To be fair. You don't have any hotel accommodation or anything on top of that. So, £232 return. If you can sleep on a coach, if you're one of those lucky people that can get their head down and get a few hours kipped, then it could be an option for those Reds who are struggling to find ways to get over. Tyler said De Ligt is all that we need. Yes, of course, De Ligt is definitely a player who we've been linked to, but everyone seems to be waiting to see what's going on with De Ligt in Barcelona. He's been very coy on his future. He was talking about just, celebrating winning the league with Ajax and stuff like that, but hand on heart, I don't think we're going to sign De Ligt. Now, please don't take that as gospel, because as I've said many times, I have absolutely no inside knowledge on any of this. I'm just like you guys. I'm just a fan who likes transfers and tries to read up on as much stuff as I can. Original Gunner said Neres is around £45 million. Neres is a good option, said LFC. The Real Ginger Steve said central mid or central attacking mid. Is that where we need, mate? Is that what you're talking about, is in a position that we need? Where does he fit in the first team squad? And he also looks high all the time. Anywhere, Fionn. When you're thinking about the first team squad, buddy, as you've said there, and I've said this numerous times as well, we can't just look at it as a starting 11. We have to look at it as a squad of players. We need players to rotate in and around the attacking 4 positions, so the front 3 and the player in the pocket in behind. So we do need, I think we need 7 or 8 options for those 4 positions, and if we want to challenge domestically, we want to challenge in the 2 domestic cups as well. We can't rely on Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane and Bobby Firmino. Yes, we do have Rhian Brewster coming through, but again, a lot of pressure to put on his young shoulders. Jax Page said Neres should be around 40 to 60 million. Press Salah said we're linked to Samuel Chukwueze. Is that how you pronounce his name? I've never heard of that kid before, to be honest. So Werner is a dream, said Regs. I would love him. I'd fucking love him, mate. I've been saying it for a long time. Excuse my language, but I'd love him. Dybala seems far-fetched. How about Nabil Fekir? Well, on Dybala, you see, there is news on Dybala. You might think he seems far-fetched, but he wants out. Dybala wants out of Juventus. It's a known fact now that Dybala wants out of Juventus. So if he wants out of Juventus, I think we'd be foolish not to at least have a conversation about this. We'll get to it a little bit later in the stream because I just want to keep going through the Neres stuff and a few others, but he definitely wants out. So to say it's far-fetched, I kind of get where you're coming from, Owen, but it isn't far-fetched that he wants out of Madrid. That seems, or not out of Madrid, excuse me, out of Juventus. That seems to be something that we can almost take as a fact at this moment in time. Neres could play central mid or central attacking mid, said the Real Ginger Steve. Loads of cheap Madrid hotels, cancellations for sale in Manchester City site, said Billy Dalton. Van de Beek could work, said Ultimate Swifty. I'd seen him linked to Spurs. Was it Spurs or was it Everton? I'd seen him linked somewhere in the Premier League anyway, but it wasn't to Liverpool. That's not to say we're not looking at him. They asked Real for 103 for Neres. That's just a ridiculous price, Liz, isn't it? There's no way anyone's paying that for him. And on Real Madrid, actually, that deal for Jovic has been confirmed at around £54 million, I think. So yeah, he's off to Real Madrid. As it was an open secret, like he's off to Real Madrid. Good business from Eintracht Frankfurt, wasn't it? Buy him for 7 and sell him for 54. How much would you pay for Depay, said Dog Creedon. I don't want Depay at Liverpool, mate, in my own opinion. What I've read about his attitude and what I've seen, stuff that he's spoken about the Lyon manager and the little huffs that he's had. For me, I would pass on Memphis Depay. But if Jurgen Klopp decides that Memphis Depay is for him and he wants to put a figure on him, God, it's difficult, isn't it? In this day and age to judge players' transfer values, you would have to say 45 to 60 million, I'd a guess, mate. But again, I'd love to know what everybody else thinks. What value would you put on Memphis Depay? Do you think they'll take Bobby Duncan on tour to America? Yes, I do. I actually do, mate. I think it'll be good for them. They usually do take a good few of the younger players, to be fair, away on the pre-season tour. So yeah, I would be surprised if Bobby Duncan doesn't get added to that list. Big Man Steve said Pepe or Neres. I would be more likely to go with Neres, and here's why. From what I've read and the few bits and pieces that have come out in the media, a couple of journalists seem to suggest that Liverpool aren't looking for a real out-and-out number 9 because Jurgen Klopp has unbelievable faith in Rhian Brewster. So taking that into account, mate, Neres might be a more sensible option. We do have Origi who can play through the centre as well. And Mane, of course, we know can play through the centre if need be. So, well, we fucking seen Gini Wijnaldum play through the centre away at Barcelona, which was a false 9, which was just for the press, really, but I would say Neres, to be honest, Big Man Steve, will probably be more suitable, although I know a lot of people absolutely love Pepe, so, take that with a pinch of salt. Moreno going to Sevilla in the transfer window, said EF. It would make sense, mate, to go back to a club that he came from. I'd be amazed if he doesn't end up back in Spain, but again, we're just going to have to wait and see. The decision for Moreno is out of Liverpool's hands. It's got nothing to do with us. He's a free transfer. He can sign for whoever the hell he wants. Liverpool legend said we have to sign him before Pep splashes the oil money. Who was this, mate? I'm not sure which player you're talking about. Mark Slough said Shaqiri was brought in to provide backup for Salah, so what does that mean for Shaqiri? I don't know if it means anything, Mark. I don't know. Maybe he stays. Maybe we just have more players We've got obviously Oxlade-Chamberlain as well that can play in a more forward position in the midfield. He can play wide if needs be. I've not been convinced by Shaqiri personally, but he seems like a good player to have around the squad. I think it's a win-win situation with Shaqiri, because if Jurgen Klopp decided that to move him on, the club would make a tidy profit. If he decides to keep him, then we know we have somebody who has a very good left foot, somebody who has a great delivery, and somebody who's proven to be able to put a damn fine ball into a box from a set piece as well. So, I mean, I kind of think it's win-win with the Shaqiri situation. But, you know, I'm being very optimistic at this moment in time. Tyler said Zaha is linked with Spurs. Yeah, absolutely. Seen that today in a couple of newspapers as well, mate. The only thing about that is the money that Crystal Palace seem to be asking for Wilfried Zaha is madness. 60 to 70 million, something along those lines. Dybala, big name, big price, big wages. I wouldn't like it personally, said Paul Anderson. I can understand, I 100% understand where you're coming from, Paul. And you're right, everything you've said there. Big name, check. Big price, check. Big wages, check. But big talent as well. He's a next level player for me if Jurgen Klopp goes for him, and if Jurgen Klopp was to bring him in, I think he'd be wonderful, and I think he would blossom. And he seems to me like a Coutinho type player, and I don't mean from a style perspective. I mean a player that wants to be loved, a player that needs to be loved, and a player who, imagine the Anfield crowd behind him, imagine the Anfield crowd behind Paulo Dybala, and hearing the love from the Klopp, and having Jurgen Klopp giving him a big hug on the side of the pitch, and having Mo Salah and Mane, and I mean, it would be great. But I do understand everything that you're saying there, my friend. It is a lot of wages, a lot of money, and as you said, a big name with maybe a big ego. I don't know. Roberto said that Allegri prick, Cancelo, Dybala, Pjanic, Costa out because of him. Allegri fucking out, mate. You're going backwards and forwards on this one, Roberto. 1 week you like an Allegri, the next week you want him out. Pjanic is getting on a little bit. A great footballer, absolutely wonderful technician. Gone in full on Brendan Rodgers there with that one. Costa I would keep as well. I can understand where you're coming from, Roberto, but I think the real problem for me at Juventus, I think, is Cristiano Ronaldo, mate. I think he's the big headache at Juventus. Klopp likes to do his business when he can early. Conversation will already have been taking place and will announce things as soon as the window opens, because Klopp will want them in for a full pre-season, said Aziz. Absolutely, but he also won't want to distract away from the build-up, mate, to the Champions League final. So, as you said, there's no doubt that Michael Edwards, Jurgen Klopp and the entire transfer team will have been working on this stuff for a long, long time. Sometimes people think, oh, this player had a good end of the season and blah, blah, blah. This type of stuff isn't reactionary. This type of stuff isn't done on a whim. So, for instance, let's say, I don't know, pick a fucking name. Somebody have a good end of a season. Let's say Ziyech, for instance. I know he had a very good season, but Liverpool wouldn't have just been impressed with him over the past month. That's not how this works. We would have been looking at players for up to a year in advance to try and get deals over the line and monitor the player and make sure that they've got the right mentality and that they've got the right spirit and they've got what it takes and they can play in different environments and so on and so forth. So any transfers the club have looked at, very few of them will be on the spot or reactionary. Watch the compilation on David Neres and he looks unreal, said Kieran Brolly. Can't wait for the final, said Charlie Boyd. Oh man, I'm fucking buzzing. Bit of an update on the final, so the group just keeps getting bigger for the watch along here for the final. You're going to have myself, you're going to have Connor, you're going to have Brian Morrissey, and now I can confirm that you're going to have our good friend Dave from Dave's LFC chat. So we're going to have 4 of us here, proper setup, 4 microphones ready to go. You're going to have a preview show, you're going to have the watch along for the final, and you're going to have a post-match show, hopefully a post-match celebration as well. We are going to make an entire day out of the Champions League final. You won't be able to move for content on the channel. So, with that in mind, if you're joining us for the first time, thank you so much and you are very welcome to the channel. If you can do me a massive favour, if you're enjoying the content, please do hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the stream as well. A thumbs up is only just one click, as is that subscribe button. And if you do subscribe, or maybe if you're already subscribed, don't forget to turn on the notifications, because then you will get notified every time we go live. And with transfers coming up, it's really important to have those notifications turned on, because anything can happen. You're so used to, and I'm so used to coming on here every night at 9:45 or 10 o'clock When transfers happen, I will be on here straight away. Breaking news comes out, you're going to get me for shorter, quicker videos throughout the summer as well. So please do hit that subscribe button. Also, over the summer, we're going to have more chats. So I'm going to be bringing like Dave on, Cash on, Chris on, and for some one-on-one chats as well. And the podcast, as I said, is starting up as well. We've already been in talks today. I can confirm that Dave's LFC Chats will be joining us for the podcast as well. Brian Morrissey, Connor, and we're going to be filming the podcasts live together. That is the good news here. We're going to try and do them once a week, live together in a room, not over video, together, which is great. Now, we will be still doing stuff, of course, with Dave and with Cash and that type of stuff, and that'll all be done remotely, but we're going to try and do stuff live together because I think you get a better reaction. It's more fun. You have a bit of banter when you're together in a room. So lots of stuff coming up. The channel is going to expand a lot over the next few months. You're going to get more contributors. You're going to get more content. You're going to get different types of content. We're going to try and give something for everybody. Pre-recorded stuff, shorter live stuff, the nightly streams as always. We've got a build-up show coming up in the next week or two with my friend Expressions, of course, who's a Spurs fan. We're going to get him on for a full preview of the Champions League final. Lots and lots of wonderful stuff coming up. So do hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the stream. Anyway, we've done a little bit of a pitch there, so we move on. More comments. I love this one, Scott. How are you, mate? Hey, Brad, looking good. You heard Liverpool might be helping Bolton with their finances. Classy motherfuckers. I hope we do. The fact, I know that an unnamed football league club sent £20,000 in food vouchers to Bolton to give to their staff, who of course have been unpaid for a while, and these people have families to feed, and mortgages to pay and lives to live. So it's very good that happened. I hope that Liverpool will help, and I hope other Premier League clubs will step in and help out as well, because it is a footballing community. And look, it's one thing saying the players will be alright, which they will. They get paid a lot more, and look, the players should be paid as well. Of course they should. But there are people at that club that, you know, are working like myself and many other people, hand to mouth. You live paycheck to paycheck or week to week. And these people need to be assisted and helped as well. So if our club is doing that, one, it doesn't surprise me because we're a good fucking club. But I'd expect other clubs to follow suit as well. So wonderful for putting that in, Scott, mate. Thank you so much for that. This is Wrestling said 70 million for Zaha, 90 million for Dybala. Smiley face, smiley face, smiley face. Yes, please. That would be great. Somebody sent me a message today. You know, when I'm on doing watch-alongs, I like an El Ric Flair moment. I like to give an El Ric Flair who when we're celebrating stuff. Ric Flair's unwell in hospital. Somebody sent it to me today. It was Douglas James Horn sent me a message to say Ric Flair is very unwell in hospital. So look, I hope Ric Flair makes a full recovery. I hope he's okay. I have been a Ric Flair fan and a wrestling fan my entire life, so lots of love to Ric Flair. Stevie Richards said, "You're a beautiful human being." Full on Brendan Rodgers there from Stephen Richards. Something about a deadline day. Where was that comment gone? Where was the deadline day comment gone? Fuck, I don't. How have I lost the comment? Sorry, I was looking for that deadline day comment and then I lost it. Will you be screening the final as it's free to watch on YouTube? No, I can't do it. It is going to be free though, yeah, absolutely 100% on that one. But no, we won't be showing the game because even though it might be free, we still don't own the copyright for it, so it will be against the rules for us to do that. Craig, think Klopp might be doing things at the moment, but he'll release it after the final, said Scotty. You're not going to believe this. Steve Nicol said to newspaper David Neres to snub Liverpool move. Oh, I believe it, mate, because I read it before I came on. And like yourself, I actually turned around to Connor and said, will Stevie Nicol ever just shut the fuck up? The amount of this guy somebody needs to just stick a sock in his mouth and not let him talk about Liverpool anymore. I mean, why would he be trying to talk David Neres out of a move to Liverpool? I know he reckons that he won't get enough game time, but mate, you can say that about literally any player that you're going to bring into Liverpool now, because who are you going to displace in that team? It's not about starting 11s, it's about a squad. Look at Manchester City being able to look to the bench and having Leroy Sané, Riyad Mahrez. You're telling me that those players wouldn't like to be playing every week? Of course they would. But when you're winning stuff, when you're challenging at the top, when you're working on 4 levels, when you're going for domestic cups, European cups, Champions League, or it's not Champions League, that's European cups, Premier League titles, you need a strong squad. Steve Nicol, you're a legend, mate. We loved you as a footballer, but just shut the fuck up. God almighty, this man doesn't half talk a load of trash. So yeah, I did see it. I do believe it, mate. But it's still ridiculous, isn't it? Oh my God, will you just shut up? I wonder what tactics Klopp will go in the Champions League final, said Dirty Girl. I fully believe that he will outwit Pochettino. I fully believe that. I think Klopp has something special up his sleeve. Sounds great. We'll catch you. It'll be the first wedding day of the Champions League final. As I'll be at a wedding, today, the Champions League final, said Ella. Oh, don't know about that, Ella. I mean, I don't know if there's any of my friends that I love enough to miss the Champions League final for. If they were getting married, they'd have to be showing the fucking thing at the final. They'd have to be. Mark Slough said would love Rice, a proper Brexit player. It looks like Manchester United or Manchester City were linked strongly with. We're looking at Declan Rice. Kit is looking great, man. Who was that one? Barnes, how are you, buddy? Said Kit is looking great. Barnes, actually, I want to do something with your account. Where is it? There you go. Barnes said Kit is looking great. Thank you, mate. There you go. Yes, mate, I love it. It's, as I said, my first day wearing it today outside of the trip to Liverpool, and I think I like it. It's a really nice kit. My little dude was running around Tato Park today, full kit wanker in his Liverpool kit as well. So yeah, lots of kids running around in Liverpool kits actually today in Tato Park, which is always good to see. What else have we got? Stevie Nicol is class, lol, said Craig Weston. Look, great player, absolute legend at the club, but doesn't half talk a load of nonsense. Original Gunner said apparently Ric Flair isn't ill, as the reports were saying. Yeah, I did read something saying conflicting reports, so I hope he isn't ill, of course. I hope Ric Flair is in full health. I know he got married over the summer or in the recent few months, so I hope he's enjoying his new married life, and I hope he isn't unwell. Because Ric Flair's a damn legend. How could you not love Ric Flair? Radical Gambino said, I remember the last deadline day looking for Fekir. Yeah, it was heartbreaking, pal, wasn't it? Nabil Fekir, the one that we all thought was going to happen and then pulled plug last minute. It was just like when, what was the other deal that Liverpool pulled really, really late as well? The guy that went on to play for Chelsea, what is his name? The guy that the Liverpool said had a heart issue, I think, at the time. God, I can't even think of his name. He went, but he's so irrelevant after that. Come on, this is where you guys jump in and help me out as always. Who was it that Liverpool pulled the plug on as well and he went and played for Chelsea? A striker. I can't think of his name. That's how irrelevant. Remy, like Remy, thank you. God, you guys are brilliant. Thank you. Always saving my ass. Stevie Richards said, put Stevie Nicol in a room with Michael Owen. Lock the fucking door. Yeah, definitely. And just let one of them come out. A fight to the death. Whoever survives gets to come out. What else we got? Craig, Ronaldo isn't the problem at Juventus. I understand you dislike him. I don't dislike him. I respect him as a footballer immensely, mate. I think he's a very, very talented man, but everything I'm reading is just him bitching at the club and moaning about players not being good enough and players not having the right attitude, players not being professional enough, and that it was everyone's fault bar his that they went out of the Champions League. There you go. That's my 2 cents on Cristiano Ronaldo at Juventus. I think he would be a massively disruptive force at the club. No problem with him as a player. As I said, how could I? He's a wonderful footballer. You cannot doubt the man's ability. But I don't know. It just seems like a lot of people's noses have been put out of joint for Cristiano Ronaldo. But look, hey, as you said, you're the Juve fan, mate, not me. So you know a lot more about this than I do, or worry about it probably a lot more than I do. Douglas James Horn is in, mate. How are you? Welcome. Just missed Liverpool playing already. So do I. The countdown. 16 days to go to the Champions League final. Xavier Bayumba tipped next Van Dijk. Actually, I thought I had something on that in the notes here as well. What's this? Oh, no. Liverpool are edging closer, apparently, to completing a deal for Sporting Lisbon teenager Andre Cardoso. I know zippity-doo-dah about this fella. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I read the article that said Liverpool are edging closer to signing him from Sporting Lisbon. I don't even know what position the guy plays because it didn't even say it in the article. But it does. He's 18 years of age. That much I can tell you. After that, I don't know. But apparently it's a very, very close deal. He hasn't made a first team appearance yet for Sporting Lisbon, so it looks like he'll be going straight to the academy. But again, another good young promising player. Looks like he's coming to Liverpool. What's my favourite game of the season? It has to be Barcelona, Rory, doesn't it? It has to be. Before that, I would say a few good games this season. I probably enjoyed the Everton win, to be fair, mate, because of the whole 96th minute of it. But yeah, I would say the Barcelona game, that 4-0 game, it has to be. But what's yours, Rory, mate? I'd love to know yours. I got offered to a birthday party and I said no, said Scotty, for around the Champions League final, mate. You're damn right, you have to say no. You just respectfully say no. Klopp needs to spend big to get top players who make the front three play harder. I don't think it's about spending big necessarily, Seamus. I think it's just about getting the right players. And, you know, Andrew Robertson was only 8.5 million or 9 million or something like that. So sometimes it's not about spending big, it's just about getting the right player. Now, if Liverpool come in for your player in this day and age, you're probably going to pay a lot for him because they know Liverpool have money. They know we posted a good profit this year. We know we've gone far in the Champions League. We've got a lot of TV revenue money as well. So I do get where you're coming from. Frankie de Jong to Liverpool. He's already signed for Barcelona, Gary. That's a done deal. That deal was done a few months back, 75 million. So he won't be coming to Liverpool, mate. He's already signed a contract. Haynes said all the ESPN pundits are terrible. I think Spurs will be the hardest game of the season and the biggest, said Liverpool legend. I don't think it'll be the hardest game of the season personally. Again, just my opinion. The biggest, yes, it's the Champions League final. It probably will be the biggest game of the season. I don't know. I fancy us to win it, but I'm not arrogant about it because, as you said, Spurs are a very good team. How are we all doing? I'm doing tickety-boo, Douglas James Horn, mate. I hope you are as well. Don't rate Declan Rice, said Louis. Champions League finals on my birthday. It's gonna be I'm gonna be in a Liverpool pub in New York, sit in Holoco. Nice one. You going to Carragher's pub, mate? Please tell me you're going to Carragher's pub. But either way, happy birthday. What a day to have the final. Barnes, how are you, sir? Do you think the signing LFC is trying to make? I think his name is Sao Khan. I don't know who the hell that is. No idea, Jose, mate. Sorry. Imagine De Ligt and VVD at the back, said James. I know, it would be great, wouldn't it? And Gomez as well. Lucas looked great in his red kit, said Stephen Richards. Thank you, buddy. What's your favourite game of the season? I've just done that one. WWE on... What's this? The comments are moving too quickly, sorry. Klopp has the inspiration, hope and talent to bring small players into big ones in the transfer market, said Owen Wright. Would I take Dan James from Swansea at Liverpool if they could get him? Isn't he the one? Isn't he going to United? Is that the same guy, Joel? No, mate. I wouldn't, to be honest. I've seen bits and pieces of him. No, I wouldn't. I think we need better. And a few years ago we were in a position where we could, kind of roll the dice on certain players and say, yeah, this might work out, this might not work out, because we weren't really in a position where we could punch at the top level and we could compete with teams. But now we're a club that can say 2 consecutive Champions League finals, fighting for the top of the Premier League. Jurgen Klopp as manager, got a good bit of money behind the club now as well. A new kit deal that's going to be announced over the next few months probably, which will probably be a record kit deal as well. So I don't think we need to be mixing in those type of levels, to be fair. I'm glad we don't have to as well. It's nice to know that Liverpool have pushed on. It's nice to know that United have a massive rebuilding job as well, and it makes me smile every time I think about them struggling. Neres, what about Rabiot? Isn't he linked with us? Said the real Ginger Steve. He's been linked to everyone at this, mate. Everyone. Barcelona, everyone thought he was going there. He's been linked to Liverpool. He's been linked to Spurs. He's been linked to Real Madrid. He's been linked to staying to Paris Saint-Germain. The truth is, nobody knows yet, which is a bit odd considering his contract is up and he could have signed for a club outside of France since January. So I guess we're just going to have to wait and see what happens with Adrien Rabiot. What's everybody's opinion on Rabiot, by the way? Because I've got a lot of mixed reviews from people on here. I would take him, personally, in a heartbeat. I know his wages would be a lot, but I'd take Adrien Rabiot at Liverpool. We always struggle against Spurs in the second half. Do we? We beat them twice this season. I don't know. Do we struggle against them? I don't know, mate. I think they're probably 2 of the fittest squads in the Premier League, if the truth be told. I think Harry Kane is going to try and force himself to be fit when he won't be fit, and I think if he starts, that will absolutely play into our hands. Son is a wonderful, talented player. Eriksen's a wonderful, talented player. Dele Alli's had a bit of a hit and miss season, by all means, but It's going to be a good game. It's not going to be easy. And a one-off game, you can't be arrogant about it. The bookies have Liverpool at 1-2 on to win it, and Spurs at 13-8. So, you know, the bookies have us as massive favourites for that game. But it's a one-off game and anything is possible. Dirty Girl said, the third kit. Have you guys seen the third kit or the rumoured colour scheme for the third kit? Now, there's a few images floating around Twitter that people are saying the third kit, this is the third kit. It's not. It's just people making up a mock kit of the colours that are actually going to be in the third kit. So I've often told you guys, if you're looking for this type of information, have a look at Footy Headlines, because they're a great site for leaking kits. It seems like Liverpool's third kit this season is going to be black and teal. And if you're not sure what teal is, it's a kind of aqua bluey greeny colour. They have a picture of a leaked training top on Footy Headline. So if you want to go on there and have a look, please do. You'll see the colour scheme. But there has been no actual real leaked image of the kit that I've seen. I've seen a few mock-ups on Twitter, but I don't think they're the real kits. But as Dirty Girl said, that seems to be the colour, and I like it. I'm a fan of it. What do you guys think? For those that have seen the colour coordination or the colour combination, what do you guys think of it? Like it? Not like it? Honestly, they had me at no collar on the kit, said Barnes. Yeah, I'm the same. I love a round neck like this. I'm not a fan of collars. As nice as this season's shirt was, for me it didn't hold a candle to last season's shirt, and this season's shirt for me I think is even better than last season's. Although that the shirt the season before was just a damn sexy shirt, wasn't it? That really was a beautiful shirt. Who would you take from Wolves if I had to take one? Ruben Neves, mate, without a shadow of a doubt. If I had to go to Wolves and take a player, Ruben Neves. Ludwig says, Ziyech. I can honestly, hand on heart, say I've never seen a link in the media, a genuine link to Ziyech for Liverpool. I've never once seen it. I've seen fans like myself and everybody else talking about Ziyech and how they'd love him, and fucking hell I would love him. I think we can do better, but you know, if we sign him, he seems like a very good player. So I don't know. I don't know. Has anybody seen a real link to Ziyech for Liverpool? A real link. Now, I'm not talking about another fan site like myself or yourself, or talking about, though, I mean like an Echo link or a New York fucking Times link, or I know, whatever you describe as a credible media source, whatever works for you guys. I haven't seen it personally. That doesn't mean he's not a good player, though. You mean, we've seen how he's performed in the Champions League and in the Eredivisie this season for Ajax. So there's no, and in the World Cup even before that, he had a very good World Cup as well. Wayne said, Craig, I think Maddison would be a good signing. 100% agree. Absolutely, mate. The only problem there is, again, he would cost an absolute fortune to get out of Leicester. Leicester aren't a club that need to sell. They've got very good owners that are willing to put their hand in their pockets. They brought in Brendan Rodgers to try and push them on to the next level. And they're the ones that took the gamble on Maddison when clubs like Liverpool looked at him and didn't pull the trigger when he was at Norwich. So I'd be surprised if he leaves after one season at Leicester. But if he came in, mate, no problem. I think he's a very good player. Craig looks like a handsome Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson's a gorgeous looking man, to be fair. But I'll take it. I'll take it, mate. Thank you. Spurs will be easy if we play as a unit, said Craig Weston. Carr's Pub is fully booked for the final. Yeah, that's not surprising, to be fair. Anyone that's been there says it's an absolutely wonderful, wonderful spot. So many comments, guys. Sorry if I'm trying my best to keep up with all the comments tonight, but as the channel grows a bit and we get more people in, it's tougher to keep up and get through everybody's comments. So please, if I've missed your comments, don't take it as me just being a dick or don't like you or anything like that. I promise you it isn't the case. I'm trying to read through and, you know, try and get through everybody at least one or two comments. Claire said, looked like a training kit to me, what I saw at least, but would be totally happy if it was the third kit. There is a training kit that's definitely been released, Claire. A training shirt, sorry, but I think the teal and black will be the colour of the third kit. I really do. Billy Dalton said, the colour teal is what Pep's face turned after the Spurs game in the Champions League. Nice. Is this the first that Klopp have been favourites gone into a Champions League when losing the previous ones? Do you know, it might just be, Craig. It might just be. Dortmund, he faced Bayern Munich, so yeah, they would have been underdogs in that one. Liverpool last year against Real Madrid, yeah, absolutely would have been underdogs for that one. Real Madrid, 2-time champions at the time. Well, 2 times in a row champions, and then of course went to make it 3 times. The only thing I'm not sure of was the one against Sevilla in the Europa League. I'm not sure if we were favourites going into that final or not. I would say we probably were, but then again, they'd been previous winners of the Europa League, so it's hard to know. I'll be just guessing. I would say it was close though. Fletcher's in, said, good evening mate, sorry I'm late to the party. Never any need to apologise, my friend. It's always a pleasure to see you guys in. What about Nicolas Pepe and Hakim Ziyech, said Heola. I think we've covered Ziyech. Pepe, I've been very honest about Nicolas Pepe and say I have not seen very much of him at all, so I'm not the best person to give you guys a genuine opinion on Pepe. All I know is that he's had a great season. I think he scored in the high 20s, early 30s goals, something like that, and he's been looked at by many top clubs across Europe. Every time you put his name into a search engine, you're seeing links to all Europe's top clubs, Liverpool's, Arsenal's. You've seen Real Madrid links, but with Jovic going there now, that looks unnecessary. The only club he hasn't really been linked to is Barcelona, so let's wait and see what happens there. I'm always a little bit nervous about signings from France. I don't know why. Same about signings from Italy. They always make me nervous. Report saying Sarri is going to AC Milan, said Mr. Smith. Yes, there was reports as well today that Chelsea are looking to get in Javi Gracia, the guy that manages Watford. I mean, I don't know. Sometimes I look at that club and just think, what the fuck is going on there? Like, they don't give managers a chance. 1 or 2 years, you're out. 1 year for Sarri. 1 fucking year, and they're going to get rid of him already. I'd keep Sarri if I was Chelsea. I'd keep him there and back his philosophy, if they can do transfers, of course, because we know they have a 1 window ban. So let's wait and see what happens there. Is it 1 or a 2 window ban, actually? I can't remember. Maybe it's a 2 window ban. But either way, they have a transfer ban that's in place at the minute. They can't just keep chopping and fucking changing managers. It just, manager comes in, he needs time to settle, he needs to get the players in that play his type of football, and that takes 2-3 transfer windows. We've seen that with Jurgen Klopp. Yes, we've seen improvements immediately when Klopp came in, but it's been steady progression then ever since, when he sorts out, gets the players that he wants in, assesses the players that he has at the club. I don't know. I'm not a Chelsea fan, thank God, but to me, I would keep Sarri there. He was the greatest thing since sliced bread when he first came, all this Sarri ball stuff, and now all of a sudden he's just not good enough, even though they're in the Europa Cup or Europa League final. Is the kit sponsor sorted yet? It's not a sponsor, it's a manufacturer. I know I'm being pedantic there, Shabir, sorry. No, it isn't. There's been no official word yet on that one. Willow said, I love it myself, the black and teal is gorgeous. I haven't seen a real link, said Barnes, with regards to Ziyech. Big man Steve said, according to Google, 24% Spurs, 26% extra time, and 50% for a Liverpool win. So yeah, massive favourites there going into that one. Only seen Ziyech got the sign for Liverpool at FIFA, said Mark Slough. Paul Anderson said, we've got Hendo, Keita and Fabinho adapted and is going to be amazing next year. Oxlade-Chamberlain, Gino Wijnaldum, Jimmy Milner, and that's 6 quality central midfielders. Think the central midfield is an option to... I don't think central midfield is an option to strength. I agree, but it's the player at the front of that midfield, or if you imagine it as a diamond, the player that's just in behind the front three, that's what we need. We need a Fekir, a Dybala. I'm going to say a Coutinho-esque, but not Coutinho. Not Coutinho. Can't stress that enough. That, to me, is a player that I think we badly need. Louis said, what's your score prediction for the final? 2-0 is his. I think that's the same, Louis. I think I'm going 2-0 as well. And then a lot of people like Liam as well, just saying they haven't seen many genuine links to Ziyech. Craig, you can make 3 signings of who we've been linked to. Take your pick. Okay, I will have De Ligt, I will have Nabil Fekir, and I will have Julian Brandt. Even though I've said all along Timo Werner, if you honestly gave me 3 players, because I know that Jurgen Klopp seems to not want to bring in a number 9, he seems to want Rhian Brewster to be the backup in that position. So yeah, De Ligt, Fekir and Julian Brandt would be 3 players I would absolutely love at the club. But again, I'd love to know your three guys in the chat, so please let me know the three players that you'd like to see from the ones we've realistically been linked to. Sean Osborne said, where you from in Dublin, bro? Originally, Sean, Shankill, mate, South Dublin. Don't live there anymore now, live in Gorey. If we buy another winger or striker, who misses out from our front three? Nobody. That's the thing. Please, 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 guys, don't think about players coming in to drop somebody else. It's all about rotation. It's all about squad players. Yeah, we've been lucky this season. Our injuries to our front three have been very, very minimal. But that's not going to happen every season. And we've spoken many times when we did have an injury. So when Bobby Firmino was out as an example, we've had many conversations around that massive drop-off in quality down to Origi or Sturridge. As good as Origi's been, and he scored some very important goals for us, there's a huge difference there between the level of a Daniel Sturridge, a Divock Origi, and the Mohamed Salah, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino. So I would stop thinking about it as somebody dropping out and thinking about it as we need more players, we need more bodies. We can't be expecting these guys to play 50 plus games a season. Marco Grujic returning, ? I don't think so. And that doesn't mean I think he's going to be sold. I think there's probably more likelihood of him going out on loan again, maybe being sold, but I don't see him returning this year to Liverpool Football Club. From what I've read, again Louis, from what I've read, I like Marco Grujic. I think Marco Grujic has a good future in the game, and I think he just keeps needing that experience. So maybe Liverpool extend his deal. I know he extended, I think, before he went out on loan to Hertha, so maybe that's something to look at as well. Back up at left back, said Ludwig. Couple of options there, mate. We have Adam Lewis, who's been spoken about very highly from the under-23s, who the club really do rate very, very highly. And then, of course, you've got that guy Lloyd Kelly, I think from Bristol, is he? That we'd been linked to a few months back. And those links have started to re-emerge again. So I would expect a young player as a backup fullback there. I wouldn't really expect us to be dipping into the market for a big name. So don't be thinking about a Ben Chilwell or anybody of that ilk. I think you're talking about a young up-and-coming player. If it's not somebody at the club, then maybe somebody like that. Excuse me, Lloyd Jones. Is that his name? Lloyd Kelly. Sorry, Lloyd Jones or somebody else. Yeah, somebody of that ilk, perhaps. Do you think Chelsea would be better off without Hazard or worse? I don't really want to say too much on this because I have a video coming out with 888 as part of the filming that I did that speaks about this very subject. So I don't want to give you my thoughts on here because I feel like I'd be disrespectful to 888 if I talked about it. So that's going to come out. My unpopular opinion piece, the piece that you've seen maybe Adam McCullough talking about, he thinks Jordan Henderson would have been the worst captain to lift the Premier League title. The recent one that came out, Expressions, was talking about Mesut Ozil and how he's a complete fraud. Well, I did my unpopular opinion piece about Eden Hazard. So that's going to come out on 888 very soon, and I don't want to give away my thoughts on it because I don't want to be disrespectful towards them. So yeah, just I hope you can understand where I'm coming from, mate. But just keep a lookout for that video because I'm going to get fucking slaughtered for it, put it that way. I don't mean by you guys, I mean by non-Liverpool fans. Maybe some Liverpool fans will slaughter me for it as well, but hey, do you know what? It is unpopular opinions. That's the title of the piece, so let's wait and see. Craig Weston said, I'm starting to have faith in Klopp turning Origi into a star. I've always said about Origi, I think he's going to be an excellent footballer. I just felt maybe it was a few years too early for Liverpool, but if he's willing to be patient and take his chances when they come, I've no doubt a Divock Origi of 25, 26, 27 years of age will be a very, very good footballer, and he's starting to look like he's believing in himself. He's starting to fill into, become an adult more and fill into his body. He's got tremendous pace and power, and when he's on it, he's very hard to stop. So I like what you're saying there, Craig, mate, and I'm with you. And Haloko said, Mandzukic, how do you think he'd do at Liverpool? He's an excellent footballer. I mean, a very underrated footballer, I think, Mario Mandzukic. A player who has shown that he can work hard. He can be part of a very compact and a very carefully produced system at Juventus. And a player who has kept Dybala out of the team at times at Juventus as well. So I think his age is probably a little bit too much. And I think he's happy and probably settled at Juventus. I would say no, but I'm very, very, very respectful of him as a footballer. I think he's tremendous. Would you rather Neres or Werner? I think... Oh, I see. A few moments ago, I just said I'd rather Julian Brandt because I don't know if we need that out-and-out striker. I can't decide. I would call that a 50-50. Hayola. What about you guys? One word. Thank you for the question, mate. David Neres or Timo Werner? Well, Neres or Werner, let's just say. One word. Please do put it in the chat. What is your answer? If you could have one of them, who would it be? Paul Turner said Sessegnon from Fulham. Again, a player who has been linked to us before, but has been more strongly linked to Spurs from what I've seen. Again, great player though. Press Salah said De Ligt, Dybala and Pepe. Anthony Robinson said Fekir and Zaha top quality. What else we got? Craig, do I like in Wexford or do I live in Wexford? Yes, I do live in Wexford, and yes, I do love living in Wexford as well. I love living here, love it. It's no secret I want to move to America. I've spoken about this since we started this stream. That's my goal in life, is to move myself and my family over to Florida or Texas and live in America. But maybe Australia could be an option as well. But I love where I'm from, mate. I like living here. Who do I think will be the next player to retire at the club? The obvious one would probably be Jimmy Milner, wouldn't it? If you gave him another year, Joshua. But we've got quite a young squad there, to be fair. There's not really many pushing retirement age, so yeah, James Milner's the only one I could think of. But if James Milner wanted to play until he's 40, he could play until he's 40 because he's that fit. Thoughts on Sessegnon or whatever his name is? Whoever gets Ryan Sessegnon on is going to get one hell of a talented footballer. Now, he was outstanding for Fulham in the Championship, got Championship or Young Player of the Season, I think, or Championship Player of the Year, one or the other. In Fulham this year, we didn't quite see the same explosiveness, the same goal scoring form. I don't know. It's so hard to be critical of a young player because sometimes progression can be stop, start. And when he's tested at an even higher level, like he was in the Premier League with Fulham this year, Fulham weren't as good as we were all expecting, but he's one hell of a footballer. I think he would grace any of the top six in the Premier League, and whoever gets Ryan Sessegnon is getting a great player, a very, very good player, and I think a player who will go on and do extremely well in the game. Barnes said, is Wes Morgan not the worst to lift the Premier League title? That really isn't for me to say. I don't want to be disrespectful of any club's captain that lifted the Premier League title, because if you're a club captain and your club wins the Premier League title, then do you know what? Fair play to you. And unlike other people, I'm not a hater in these type of situations, so I don't want to answer that question, to be fair, because he won the Premier League title. I mean, how can I say Wes Morgan was the worst? He won the Premier League title, so you've got to give the man respect. The same way Henderson would have deserved immense respect if he lifted it, or if he lifts the Champions League. I think that whole thing from Adam McCullough with regards to that was a shithouse thing to do, if I'm being honest. I'm not having a dig at him because I don't know him that well, but I just think he was looking to score cheap fucking points there, having a dig at Jordan Henderson. And I told him afterwards I thought he was talking out his arse at the time, and I still stand over that. Nothing against him. As I said, this isn't a personal attack on him. I just think that was a bullshit opinion, if I'm being honest. Far Isles in. What have we got here? Find some United fans here at Agenda. My scoring is always more than the meanies and denigrated and dismissive for so long. Yeah, look, there's been some really, really, really nice Manchester United fans in here. We've even had a couple of lovely Man City fans. I mean, I'm sure you guys remember Lofa, who is absolute class. Messaged us to say congratulations on a great season. Wished us well for the Champions League final as well. So sometimes, yeah, there's dickheads from every club that come in. But, you know, we've been lucky this season. We've got to chat to fans from other clubs, and it's been a pleasure, an absolute pleasure. Drew said that humidity is a bit much, Craig. I don't know, mate. I love it. I love a bit of humidity. I love a bit of heat. I feel like a different person. Even you can see now the weather in Ireland has been good for the past few days, and my spirit is lifted. Ireland in this weather with the sun shining, there isn't a more beautiful place on earth. I love it here, but unfortunately our winters are fucking horrible, and my mental health goes downhill and my moods go downhill, and I don't feel like going outside really in the winter. So that's what my kind of want to move is based around. But there you go. Liam Granby said, I'd love us to sign Sancho. What a signing he'd be. I don't think Borussia Dortmund are going to let him leave this summer. I know United are talking about wanting him. I just don't think he's going to leave. And I think the right move for Jadon Sancho is to spend another year at Borussia Dortmund. Guaranteed Champions League football as well next season with them, so he'll get that experience. I've no doubt he'll be... Was he announced in the Nations League squad for England today? I didn't actually see the squad announcement, so I don't know. So yeah, I think the right move for him is to stay where he is for another season. That midfielder off Watford, the PSG were after backup for Trent and Fekir and Zaha, said Anthony Robinson. Barron said, fair point, mate. No disrespect to Wes Morgan either. It's more that I don't understand the distaste of Henderson. Barnes, I think it was just a cheap shot to score points and piss all over Liverpool from a United player. If I'm being honest, that's what I think it was. Am I wrong, or did Wes Brown lift a Premier League title for Manchester United at one point? Was he Manchester United's captain when they won the Premier League at one point? Now, as I said, I don't want to be disrespectful of any captain that lifts a Premier League title, but being realistic here, I will fucking argue with anybody who tells me that Wes Brown is a better footballer than Jordan Henderson. I mean, bullshit. I'm not having that. So, as I said, I think it was a cheap shot to have a dig at Liverpool, to try and score some cheap points. Maybe it was to try and trigger fans, but that part worked because he fucking certainly got some... read through the comments on the video. There's certainly a lot of people disagreeing with his comments. Do you think Brewster should get a chance next season instead of buying Werner? Well, Ian, that seems to be the belief among certain journalists and certain people in the media, is that Jurgen Klopp thinks so highly of Rhian Brewster that he may forgo a genuine number 9 in the hopes that Rhian Brewster can supplement Bobby Firmino. And as I said earlier on, Origi looks like he's going to get a new deal, so there's options there for him. We can put Mane in the centre. We know Mo can play through the centre, so those options are there, mate. So it's a good show. And I think Rhian Brewster's going to be a superstar. I really believe that. I'm not saying he's going to do it next season. He's a young kid. He needs time to settle in, and we cannot be putting too much pressure on those young shoulders. We know with Trent Alexander-Arnold, we've seen it with Raheem Sterling as well, and other young players who've come through at the time, Robbie Fowlers, Michael Owens. Young players go through ups and downs, peaks and troughs. Sometimes they get a few games and managers decide it's right then to pull them out of the limelight for a little bit and let them just settle back in, let them absorb what they've learned and then reintroduce them again. And you know, Jurgen Klopp is one of the best in the business for that, so I fully believe we're in for a treat with Rhian Brewster. I really do. Guys, there's so many people in. I see the chat numbers have gone up as well. I see that the subscribers have gone up. But look, please do keep hitting that subscribe button. I want to try and get past 16k for the Champions League final, which would be fucking great. So if you're enjoying the stream, please do hit that button. And of course, drop a like. Can't wait to see the back of Moreno this summer. I've been counting down the days, said Owen Farrelly. It's kind of been... Look, I don't really like to belittle any player that wears the Liverpool shirt. And Alberto Moreno seems like a nice fella. He seems like good fun to have around the dressing room. He's just not tactically aware enough for me. So he's going to move on. I don't want to piss all over him if you get where I'm coming from, but I kind of understand where you're coming from, Owen. Cape Town Muslim said, just joined late. Big chat tonight. How are you, buddy? Great to see you in as always. I'm trying my best to get through your comments, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologise if I've missed out on some. What do I think about Lloyd Kelly? Seems like a very talented young fullback. And somebody we linked to before. What is it? Invest in Skangs. Is that it? Why? Excuse me if I got that wrong. Yeah, I've no idea. Did anybody see a price actually on Lloyd Kelly? Has anybody seen a price on that kid? Because I hadn't seen anything around that. Good night. It's been fun. Thank you, mate. It's my pleasure, Ashy. Thank you for joining us, buddy. Do you think Hendo will be captain next season? 100%. Don't even entertain the fact that he won't be captain. I know a lot of people love Virgil van Dijk. I know a lot of people want him to have the captain's armband. But it's not really a big deal. I've said this before. When you're the captain at a club like Liverpool or any top club, even any Premier League club, You've a lot more duties than just putting on that armband on the field and going and talking out there. You've got corporate stuff to do. You've got media responsibilities to do. You've got sponsorship stuff to do. You've got stuff to do with supporters clubs. You've got stuff to do with local charities, radio work, all that type of stuff that comes along with being Liverpool captain. And you know, maybe, I'm not saying he does or doesn't, but maybe Van Dijk couldn't be arsed. Maybe Van Dijk likes the way things are at the minute. Maybe he loves being, he's a natural leader. So one way or the other, he leads that defence. He marshals it. You can see it every single week. He talks people into where to be. And sometimes maybe as Irish people or English people or, people on this side of the world or looking at the Premier League, we hold too much emotion in the captaincy. I love Jordan Henderson being captain of Liverpool Football Club. I've said this for a very long time. Sometimes I wish our players got in the referees' ears a little bit more, but I think we're starting to do that this season. Between Milner and Henderson, I've seen a lot of talking to referees this season, so I don't think he's going to go anywhere. I think he's going to be captain next season, but that doesn't mean Van Dijk's not going to be a leader, because you can see by watching that man, he's a natural born leader. Have you seen Brewster playing for England? He's good, he's proper fast. I do. I remember he scored a ridiculous amount of goals, mate, in the under 18s World Cup or the under 17s. I can't remember what age group it was. Yeah, and I've watched him play some younger games as well with the under 23s. He's class. He's absolutely class. Sometimes you know when a player's coming through that they're special. You knew it with Raheem Sterling. You knew it with Michael Owen. You knew it with Robbie Fowler. You knew it with Steven Gerrard. There was murmurs around the club. People were talking about these kids coming through, and you can't deny them. They're too good. They forced their way in. And we seen last summer how strongly Jurgen Klopp fought to keep Rhian Brewster at the club. Melissa Reddy did a piece last year stating how many clubs were in around Europe for Rhian Brewster. I think there was 6 or 7 clubs in Germany alone. And let's not forget, Liverpool cancelled the pre-season friendly against Borussia Mönchengladbach because they were unhappy with their pursuit of Rhian Brewster. So I know I've been building this kid up a lot, but I think he's going to be special. What's this one? Sorry, I've missed a few bits. Do you know who Enes Bardi is, and do you think Liverpool should try and snatch him up? Hand on heart, envy. I've never heard of that person. So sorry. I may look foolish here, but I won't lie. I've never heard of them. VVD is vice captain, said Mark Slough. It depends, I suppose, what happens with Jimmy Milner. If Milner moves on, then yeah, he would seem a natural person to step in. But either way, a captain or no captain, he's a leader. He's a natural leader. Hendo's always in the ref's ear, Craig. It's just off camera most of the time, which is great, because you need to be as a captain. You need to be letting the ref know, mate, that's his 3rd foul. You can't keep letting that going. I love that. You can't cross the line with it, of course, but you do need it to happen. If Henderson lifts the Champions League, then he becomes one of the great LFC captains. What a comment, Neil, mate. Well in. He deserves it, as the club do. And I'm looking forward to the day that Jordan Henderson stands there lifting a cup. Hopefully it's the European Cup on June the 1st over his head. Yeah, and he will have earned that right. Absolutely. Cape Town Muslim said, look at United and Ashley Young as captain, sometimes made too much of. VVD doesn't need an armband to lead. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely, my friend. 100%. Andy, how are you, mate? Andy LFC is in as well. Rhian Brewster is going to be another player Chelsea regret giving away. That's great, isn't it? It's fucking great. I'm getting my new kit on Monday with Trent on the back, said the Walking Gamer. Brilliant. Good choice. I was thinking this season, I don't know if I'll get a name and number on whatever kit I might get, but I mean, I've nothing on this one. This is just the shirt. If I was, though, I'd probably get Robertson. I'd probably get Robertson on my shirt. I just love that man. I absolutely love him. Thanks for reading my comment, mate. Boss channel this. Paul, mate, no, thank you for being here. And everyone that puts their comments in. I keep saying it. This channel is a little bit different to other fan channels. So I'm going to use Mark Goldbridge on the United stand just as an example here. Mark is very eloquent. Mark is very able to hold his piece on the camera and speak for an extended amount of time about a specific subject. And Mark does it very, very well. You know I'm a fan of what Mark does. He reads comments as well, but his stuff is more on his view on the game, His news, of course, he does news stuff as well. From day one, this channel's been about you guys. It's been about the subscribers and it's been about the chat. So I could come on here and talk for 20 or 25 minutes about my thoughts on things, but do you know, I'll get that out in podcasts and I'll get that out on other bits and pieces. This show is about getting Reds to share their views. And I think over the course of the season, we've all learned a little something from each other on here. I know I've definitely learned an awful lot from you guys, and you've bailed me out when, you know, I forget shit. I forget stuff all the time, don't I? So you guys bail me out every single time. And reading out your comments, as many of them as I can, is the least I can do, because I appreciate you taking the time to write them and coming on here and sharing your thoughts about the club that we all love. So no need to ever thank me, Paul, mate. Thank you, and thank you everybody else. Drew Branch said, I need to order the new kit. I can confirm, mate, it is fucking class. And yeah, you will like it if you order it. If I had to take one United player, who would I take? Oh, God. See, normally the answer would have been De Gea, but now we have Alisson, we don't need De Gea. So, Marcus Rashford or Anthony Martial. They're probably one of the two United players I take. I think both have a lot of development still to go. I think both have tremendous assets, tremendous quality. So one of those two for me. I know people will probably go, but Craig, Pogba, not for me. Good player, great player on his day, World Cup winner. Was much better at Juventus than he's been at Manchester United. But now Rashford or Martial will be mine. Did I miss the part where we said Werner or who was the other player? Somebody suggested to me Werner or it wasn't Werner, or who was it? Who was the other player we were talking about a few minutes ago where I said put it in the chat, do you want Werner or why the fuck was it? It wasn't Brandt. This is one of those moments like I was talking about a second ago where Craig draws a blank here. Let me scroll down. Neres, there you go. It's bailing me out again. And you guys thank me, for fuck's sake. Come on, you've nothing to thank me for. Andy said the best channel. Yeah, so Neres or Werner. Again, who do you guys think? Yes, Craig, you do forget stuff all the time. What's your name again? I don't know. I'm sure it's written on my arm or something somewhere, mate. So I'm one of those people that would go with something written on his hands just so I don't forget. But I forget stuff that I know, which is really annoying. You know, I don't struggle for stuff that I know I shouldn't know. I forget stuff that I recall in 1 second if I was sitting here and I wasn't talking to camera. Trent is unbelievable this season. Sterling, one young player. It sucks. What else have we got? Kleiny's going to go, Ludwig, mate, by the looks of it. I don't know how much, though. That's an interesting thing for Nathaniel Klein. I don't know how much we'd get from. Paul Grieve said Martial, definitely for United for him. Haynes said I want a new goalie top, but it's out of stock. Amazingly, though, mate, when I was in and around like Sports Direct and the Liverpool store and stuff, they were in there. I've seen the goalkeeper shirts. I had a couple in my hand, even in the airport in JD Sports. They had the goalkeeper shirt. So if you can't get them in the Liverpool store and you really want it, maybe, you know, look elsewhere. I don't know where exactly you're ordering from, buddy, or what part of the world you're in. But I know Sports Direct had them when I was in there because I had it in my hand at one point. Morton said I still prefer last season's kit over the new one. Each to their own, my friend. I just love the red. I love we've moved on in the red and we have this kind of darker red now. Now this one isn't as dark as this season's one. This one is definitely a lighter shade than the one that we had the previous season. Press Salah said Neres. Hem said Neres. Lindelof. Lindelof's alright, to be fair. Big man Steve, but not for me. Martial, Neres. What else have we got? Craig's got brain fog. Absolutely Willow. 100%. His name is Brad Pitt. Yeah, get it right for fuck's sake. That is my name. Brad Pitt, there you go. The bald Brad Pitt. Fucking hell. Imagine me going around calling myself Brad Pitt. Yeah. Only for Sabrina, Craig would forget to go live for the show. Do you know what? The really funny thing is, she's ridiculously forgetful. My wife is the type of woman who will remember something from 10 years ago. But if she goes to the shop, she rings me because she can't remember what she's gone to the shop for. I tell you, I'm not joking. That's genuine truth. She'll tell you that herself. I could ask her for what was the car reg of the car we had 9 years ago, and she'd just go, bang, here it is. I'd send her to the shop and she'd ring me and go, oh, what the fuck am I here for again? Why am I in the shop? There you go. But between us, we kind of make up one normal human being. Do you know what I mean? So we get by. With the tan, Craig looks like Jason Statham tonight. The tan? Yeah, go outside for one day. Do you know what I mean? A little bit of sunshine and here we go, Jason Statham. I'm fucking having that and burn it out. You're gone up on my estimations even further, my friend. Van der Beek at Ajax, most valuable player, said S. Almond. Uar, I swear you fuckers just making me say that word, don't you? I'm gonna have to learn how to pronounce his name properly because I just sound like somebody taking the piss out of a farmer every time I go Uar, because it's just a name I can't. My Irish accent and that name just don't go well together, do they? Werner said Douglas James Horn. He'd take. Willow wants the goalkeeper shirt. It's gorgeous. I'd probably take Fred. He looked good till he moved to the club, said Dave. But you know what? He's not a patch on Fabinho though, does he? Colo Toure, Colo Toure, yeah. That's one fucking hell of a song, isn't it? Every time I hear Colo's name, that song comes into my head. Uar, look at Jesus, doing it to me again, you bastards. Booker T. Oh, do you remember him from wrestling? 5 times. Who would you rate our next season's kit out of 10? Or what would I rate? 8 maybe. I think there's definitely some improvements could have been made on it. I think 8, a good solid 8. What about everybody else? Good question. Do you know what? It's a question I don't think I've seen anybody ask it. Will, out of 10, this season's kit, the one I'm wearing right now, if you've seen it in the flesh, give me your marks on it. Even if you haven't and you just want to share your thoughts, please do. Liverpool Football Club said, am I the only one imagining Henderson lifting the European Cup and literally dreaming of it at night? No, mate, I'm with you. I've seen it, I've pictured it, I've imagined it. I've even, gone as far as to, the little shake of the trophy when it's above the head. I've even gone that far. Because you can't just lift it up, you've got to give it that little shake, don't you? So, no, you're not the only one. I've definitely done it. Harold Steptoe said, Cloughy in charge of this Liverpool team would have been 8 points clear of City. Do you know what? Maybe different similarities, but very different between him and Jurgen Klopp, isn't there? I mean, Cloughy's a bit more of a clip around the air kind of fella, but an excellent manager and one of the greats, absolutely. But you know what? Jurgen Klopp is one hell of a man as well, and both of them got huge buy-in from their players. Craig looks like a B-Tech Jason Statham. Motherfucker, I'm not a B-Tech anybody. You should know that by now. Jason Statham is a B-Tech Craig. No, I'm only joking, Stephen. A B-Tech Jason Statham is better than a fucking Bateson lookalike, so I'll take it. Or an Uncle Fester lookalike. Or a Dara O'Brien lookalike. I'll take a B-Tech Jason Statham every day of the week. Right, so here we go. Here's some scores out of 10 for the kit. So Prez Salah's given it an 8. Big Man Steve, 8.4. Stevie Richards, 9 out of 10. Liverpool Football Club, an 8. The Walking Gamer, an 8. Stone Cold Craig Austin, said Sean W. Do you know what? Somebody set up a parody account of me before on Twitter. And you guys know I've got Asperger's, which is a form of autism, and they called me Stone Cold Steve Autism. Which was meant as an insult, but it actually made me smile, because I've got a fucked up sense of humour, so their intention was to undermine me and take the piss out of me, but actually all they did was make me smile. So to them, I mean, you fucked up there, guys. You tried to insult me, but you just made me smile because you underestimated quite how fucked up my sense of humour is. Heme gives it an 8. Royston an 8 as well. Sam is just going 6 times. I mean, I love it, Sam. I love it. 6 times. It has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Brad Pitt, Craig's rumoured to replace Chris Hemsworth as Thor. Can you imagine me with the fucking wig and all on? Long hair, like. The stage of it. Big Man Steve, 8.5. We're going to have 6. We're going to have 6 Champions League titles. We're going to have 6, said Willow. 9 out of 10 for Ludwig. What's your starting midfield for the Champions League final? It's hard to drop anybody. Fabinho, Henderson. It's such a toss up between Milner and Genie that I can't give you an answer, buddy. Sorry, I wish I could. I'm going to sit on the fence on that one. Mark said, I genuinely like this kit. I can can I physically take your kit? If you want to come and get it, mate, you can have a try. Maybe you can try Lucas's. Might be easier to steal his off him. He's only 7. Sebastian said 7.8. Original Gunner said 500 out of 10. Delit and Harry Maguire to the Toffees. Yes, mate. Of course that's going to happen, Harold. Keep on dreaming, my friend. But on the Toffees, have you got any info, mate? Any transfer gossip for the Toffees? Do you think you're going to keep Richarlison? That's another one I'd be interested to know. 10 out of 10 said Ake, I think, will be coming to Liverpool, said Dave the Red. A few people have mentioned Nathan Ake. Some people think he switches off a little bit and he can be caught. You know, we've accused Gomez at times before, and we've accused Trent of sometimes watching the ball or being a little bit caught out of position. I've heard people talking about Ake in that very same vein, but he's a good footballer to me, and again, still progressing, so not a bad show. Claire said the new kit is a thing of beauty and even better when you see it up close. I like retro yellow stripes and nod to the 80s. Are they yellow? No, they're white. The stripes are white. I had to look. Do you know what I mean? I had to check the fucking shirt to see, and I'm wearing it. Harry Wilson to stay, said S. Almond. I don't know. I think he'll go on loan. But again, I mean, you can't take what I say as gospel. It's complete guesswork. Brian Morrissey said, that is kind of funny. What were we laughing at? What's funny? Liverpool's new sponsor for next season. Training kit is AXA. I know. I bought a hoodie. One of the new training kit hoodies, and it has AXA on it. I don't like the AXA look, to be fair. I just don't think it looks right on it. I know a lot of people though prefer that to betting companies, so they would prefer that to Bet Victor, and look, each to their own on that one. I love João Felix from Benfica. He looks like a young Aguero, very skillful, strongly linked to Manchester City. Mike, we did apparently, rumours said we put in a £60 million bid last January and that it was rebuffed by Benfica, so he will attract a lot of attention this summer. I think, am I right in saying he's 120 million bio clause or something like that? Box for the kit? I mean as in fight for the kit. No, you know, the only person I'm getting to a boxing ring with would be Mr. Double Initials for charity someday. That's the only way that would ever happen. I'm a lover, mate, not a fighter. And I'm even a shit lover, but you know what I mean. You're still the sexiest bald person around. I'll have it. I'll take it, mate. Thank you very much. The love tonight is great. Thank you. You were talking about, sorry Brian, you were talking about Stone Cold Steve Autism being funny. I'm catching up now. I haven't got your jokes, mate, over the past couple of days. I'm looking very foolish, Brian. I'm like, is it true that Everton are getting a new stadium? Apparently, I mean, yes, the Bramley Moor dock is where they're supposed to be building the new stadium. They're trying to put the finances in place at the minute. I call it the Bramley Apple Pie in the Sky Stadium because, you know, they've been shouting on about it for a long time, and there's ne'er a spade in the ground yet, or a bit of water, I think, even pumped out of the dock. But that is the plan for them yet. Would you take Rodriguez off Real Madrid? No. Too many injuries, too hit and miss. I've seen him play brilliantly when playing for Colombia, but he's too many soft injuries, and we cannot be dealing with another soft or player that's injury prone. Sorry. I can't believe we finished with 97 points and still didn't win the league. Yeah, I know. I think the highest points total Liverpool have ever had is 98, if my memory serves me correct. I think was that. I don't know when that was. I can't remember what year it was. I just remember reading somewhere that we once had 98. Toffee's transfer gossip is they hired a new painter for Woodison. Again, I still wouldn't believe that until I seen it. Who do I think will win the league next season? It's impossible to say, Danny, mate, until we know who's got who in the summer. But whatever happens, you'd still have to install us and Manchester City as the two front runners. Yeah, it's down to, I suppose, what happens in the summer. And of course, if Manchester City did receive a European Cup ban, it seems like it probably wouldn't be for next season because they'd appeal and it would probably be pushed back. But that would, of course, affect you. You'd make them even more favourites if they weren't in Europe. I hope Mane doesn't leave this season. He won't. Nobody needs to worry about Firmino, Mane or Salah leaving. It isn't happening. Don't worry about it one bit. They all signed new contracts. They're all tied down to the club. They're all happy. They're all loved. They're all scoring goals. They're not going anywhere. I just saw a picture of Benzema in a red kit saying congratulations, and I almost had a heart attack. We don't need fucking Karim Benzema. He's finished. When's Anfield's next redevelopment? We've got outline planning permission for the Anfield Road end, which would, I think, add another 6 or 6,500 seats to the stadium. It's just the club. I think the club are just doing the due diligence. Due diligence. Jesus Christ! At the minute to try and figure that out. And also, when you're looking at capital projects or building projects at the club, it's very unusual for a club to do more than one at any time. And we're redeveloping Kirby at the minute, so I would say that it's most likely that will get done, and then they'll have a look at whether they're going to go ahead with the Anfield Road end. They have to do it. They have to fucking do it. There's too many people want tickets. We need to get a capacity up to around 60k. So for me, it seems like a no-brainer. They were talking about figuring out a way of refinancing it to make sure that it's cost effective. But with the profits the club are turning, with the runs in the Champions League, the television money, the possible sponsorship, it has to be done. I just can't see any way it isn't done. Do you think we'll sign anybody before the final? Yes, but I don't know if it'll be announced before the final. I would imagine there are deals that are pretty close already. Liam said, I'm going to give the new kit an 8 out of 10. With me in it a 20 out of 20. He said, good man, Liam. I like it, mate. Back in yourself. Any news on Nicolas Pepe? Said the Raptor. He's fucking sharp. Not that I've seen, mate. I've seen us linked to him, but nothing new. Nothing concrete. So I hope we get in a couple of top level players. I mean, I don't want to keep coming on here every night and like trying to just say this player come in. I'm not that type of channel. I'm not somebody who's going to come in and lie and say, oh, this is happening or that's happening. I'm just going to give you my opinion on what I've read and let you guys take from it what you will. Can I kick it, Brian? Yes, you can. Of course you can, mate. Craig, I feel so relaxed listening to your show. When I first saw it, I fell in love with it. Wow. That is so nice of you, Mudasir. Thank you, mate. I'm glad you feel relaxed. I've actually I think I've mellowed out. Can I ask you guys that question? Because I spoke to Connor about this today. I think I've mellowed out over the last few weeks. Does anybody else feel that way? Because I used to be a lot crankier. I used to shout a lot more. And maybe you guys are just too fucking good at being mods. And we're not getting as many trolls in. But I feel like I'm a little bit more mellow. And I'm liking this. I'm enjoying it. Of course, I need to have a little go at the trolls in the watch-alongs. You know, I need to release. You know, I have to have that release. And maybe it's because I'm back on Twitter as well. Somebody said that to me, that maybe I'm a bit more relaxed because I'm back on Twitter and I take out all my aggression on Twitter and you know, call all the trolls out on Twitter. So maybe that's it as well. We've got to redevelop Kirby at the minute. This will be later, and I think it's going to be safe standing, said Cobra, which would be interesting. And I'm personally for safe standing. If there was going to be safe standing, though, surely it would have to be on the Cop. That would make so much more sense for it to be on the Cop rather than it to be at the Annie Road end. Because, I mean, those of us, and I'm sure a lot of you have been in the Cop, you spend a lot of the time standing in there anyway, and there's no fucking leg room in the Cop. The seats are so close together. Where did somebody say waiting to see Craig go from 0 to 100? Where was that comment? What was that over? What am I gonna go to 100 on? Right, so I've done that one. Oh, waiting to see Craig go from 0 to 100 miles. I don't know what that means. Cape Town Muslim mate, sorry. We could fill Anfield twice over. 100%. Now, there is something we've spoken about before. If Liverpool, I believe, went over the 60,000 mark with regards to the capacity of Anfield, then you've got to look at redeveloping the infrastructure around Anfield. So you're going to need better transport links. You're going to need to take account of the noise pollution and the traffic. Can Anfield area cope with the traffic? Could it cope with another 25, 30,000 people going there to games? You've got to think of the residents. You've got to think of the transport links. As I said, you've got to think of the noise pollution. You've got to think of the lack of eateries and restaurants and hotels and stuff around the area. There would be massive investment needed from both the club, the council, the city. to go above that 60k, which is why I'm very sceptical that we will ever go above 60k at Anfield. Big Man Steve said I'd like a 60 to 70,000 seater stadium, but I don't want to lose the atmosphere. I've said to an Everton supporter, so the LFC fan, I'd wear a blue shirt if they finished top 10, knowing I had the 2011-2012 third kit. I knew I would be happy. Yeah, I mean, fuck Everton, to be fair, with all due respect. Bitter blues. Are the Champions League final tickets really selling for like 34k? That's ridiculous. I hope nobody pays that much money for a ticket, mate. I mean, I can't tell anybody what to do with their own hard-earned money, but there's no way I'm spending 34k on a ticket if it was offered to me. In fact, I would... Nah, no fucking way. Not a chance. Joseph said, need like 75k. The Kop needs safe standing, which I believe would add 6 to 10k. Again, though, mate, as I've just said, from what I've read and been told by people, once you go above that 60k mark, better public transport links, a lot of stuff would have to be done, and I don't know if Anfield can cope with another 70,000. What are we at now? 54, so another 26 on top of that. You've got to think of the people who live there as well. Another 26,000 bodies going in and out, where like we already struggle for parking and stuff around the area, so I genuinely don't know. 34k or a new BMW, yeah. Or a deposit on a fucking house, mate. Do you know 34k is a deposit on a mortgage? Right, guys, I am going to do another 5 minutes and then going to head off for the night because I started a little bit late, so usually I'll be finishing up now, so I will go for a few more minutes. Last shout out to anyone who hasn't subscribed, please do hit that button and drop a like on the stream. Again, just a reminder, we're going to do some more content. It's not just going to be nightly streams. We're going to have some shorter videos coming up. And we're going to start doing live... no, that's a lie. When I say live podcasts, I mean the podcasts are going to be recorded in a room together. So not by video link. So we're going to start doing that over the next week or two. That won't be going up live. That'll be pre-recorded and put up. So I've got to be open and honest about that. We're going to have Expressions coming on to do a preview of the Champions League final. So I'm looking forward to catching up with him. For those of you that don't know who Expressions is, he is a Spurs fan and a top lad. An absolute force of nature. You'll love him. If you don't know who he is, have a look. We did a video with him maybe a week ago. It's in our list of videos. It's about 21 minutes long. Definitely worth a watch. Then we're going to have Cash and Dave and Chris and all the guys back on as well. And we're going to do an end of season video podcast as well. We're going to try to catch up with all those guys. Maybe do it individually, maybe do it as a group. I'm not sure. It'll be based on what way the tech works for that one. Transfer videos coming up as well. The Champions League final, we're going to have an entire day around that. It's not just going to be the watch along of the game. We're going to have a preview show. We're going to have our watch along, and we're going to have our post match show, which for those of you that weren't with us last night is going to be a charity stream. So for the post match show, we are going any super chats that we receive, any ad revenue that we receive, and I will put the link into the charity. We're going to be doing it on behalf of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. My wife and a group of ladies run the Dublin Ladies Mini Marathon every year on behalf of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. It's based around something called Team Mason, which is a specific subset, I suppose, of Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. Mason is a young man who's the same age as my son Lucas. Mason has cystic fibrosis, he has autism, and he has cystic fibrosis related diabetes. So there's a wonderful group of I think there's in excess of 30 ladies and a couple of men who wear wigs pretending to be ladies that do this every year for Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. So I thought, hey, people ask us to do charity streams. I love my wife, I'm proud of my wife. She puts me to shame every single year. She's a wonderful lady. So what we're going to do is, that's a charity stream. I thought, hey, why not the post-match one? Hopefully we're celebrating a Champions League final win. So on that night, any ad revenue, any super chats that we get, and I will put the link in directly to the charity page as well if you want to donate there. And all money raised there will be going to Cystic Fibrosis Ireland. Which is a fucking fantastic cause, and I cannot speak highly enough and give you my admiration for this group of ladies that do this every single year. So yeah, I hope you guys can come with us for that one, and I hope you understand where we're coming from. I picked that one because I think it's probably going to be our highest earning show of the year with ad revenue and super chats and stuff, and I want to give that out. I want to give that to a good cause because they deserve it. The ladies are wonderful, what they do. Yeah, And I love my wife, and I'm proud of my wife, and my wife deserves my support, and anything I can do to help her I'm going to do, because you know what, she's been behind me in this channel from day one, and I'm always going to be in her debt for that one. And she puts up with my stupid ass. I mean, if that's not enough, like, she puts up with my stupid ass. UEFA Champions League finals too far away. What's this on Tielemans? Oh, going to United, and boy is saying it's fake news. Just subscribed, said Germanus. Great wee show. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate you subscribing, and I appreciate your kind words. Have a good one, girls, said Craig Weston. Thank you, mate. What a night June the 1st is going to be. The Reds win number 6, and then afterwards the AJ fight. Yeah, that as well, Liam. I don't know what state, mate, I'm going to be in by the time that AJ fight comes on. But yeah, a lot of content that day, and then AJ's fighting that night as well, so I will be staying up for that one. Craig, will I dress in drag for a charity? Lily Savage. I would do it, but you know, I don't think there's anything that'll fit me, because my wife's, you know, much daintier than I am, so I'm not gonna. Where am I gonna get women's clothes to wear? But you know me, I'd wear anything. Burn it out. I'd do fucking anything. I've no shame. Okay, what else we got? Pele will sign for us. I went drag for charity. Fonda Dick, said Sean W. Good man. I like it. Can I do a watch along for the AJ fight? Honestly, boy, hand on heart, I don't think I'll be in a fit shape to do any type of a stream for the AJ fight, because after 3 lots of content and probably 7 or 8 hours worth of talking into a microphone, and the state I'm going to be in through, how shall I phrase this, social circumstances, I won't be fit to do a watch along of the AJ fight, mate. I'm going to be on another plane, shall we say. I'll be enjoying myself. Rogers wants Shaqiri. Maybe we can do a swap and cash from Madison, said Neil Anthony. Wear a Manchester United shirt for charity. I would do anything for charity, mate. Anything within reason. Wear any United shirt to raise money for sick people or charity. I'd fucking do it in a heartbeat. It wouldn't bother me in the slightest. What would me doing a Manchester United shirt? I mean, that's nothing for me. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I get banter for it, but I don't care. If it helped a good cause, I'd do anything. Do you know what I mean? Craig, any news of players changing numbers? I don't think we'll know that just yet. Obviously, Liam, I should mention Alisson there is going to be taking the number 1, but after that, I don't know. Picture in Craig and drag. I'm trying to think if I ever wore a dress before. I probably have. At some point when I was drunk, when I was younger. I mean, you know, you never say never. Right, picture in Craig and drag. Drugs, Brian, nobody mentioned drugs. I just said I'd be on another plane. Nobody mentioned drugs, mate. Draw your own conclusions. Stay in school, kids. Be safe and all that stuff. Right, ladies and gents, let's call it there for the night. My goodness, this was fun. I had so much fun tonight. Dave dropped in as well. Dave, how are you, buddy? I was telling them you're going to be joining us for the Champions League final day and for some podcasts going forward as well. So, good fun. Me, Dave, LFC chats. The banter's going to be good. I'm enjoying it. I'm looking forward to it. It was great to meet Dave and spend time with him over in Liverpool, as it was with October and Stephen Richards and Louise and Wendy and... Oh, sorry, excuse me. I actually called you by your real name, Willow. I promise you I'm never going to do that. Not that you don't want people to know it, but I just told you it's going to be Willow. So, Willow. How are we? Look, ladies and gents, I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you as always for everything. You guys are the fucking best in the world. I love you for coming on here every night and putting up with me and sharing your thoughts with me and being so much fun. I will chat to you tomorrow, and it will be 15 days until the Champions League final. And you know what? Some transfer news might break, so hey, let's wait and see. But as always, take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them, and up the motherfucking Reds.